Is it love or is it just a vibe? In today's episode, we're going to talk about what it means to vibe and what it means to love. So stay tuned.
Hey, Mr. Friends, welcome back to the Blissology Podcast,
where we break down everything related to love, to marriage and relationship with a goal of creating more bliss and less stress.
That's right. I am your girl, your host, Cece. And as always, I am joined with my husband. Babe, what's going on?
I'm good.
Okay.
Hey everybody, this is Will, and thank you for joining us today. If this is your first time tuning into our podcast, this is a weekly podcast where we bring you inspiring, relatable, and relevant content every Saturday.
Right.
Now, before we get into today's topic, we always like to share something blissful that either happened to us or something that we did. So let's get into it.
All right. So, babe, what's your blissful moment?
This week was an exciting week.
I don't know
if I want to call it blissful, but
yeah.
here's what I say. It was blissful. We had a hurricane coming this week. And obviously from Sunday, it was like high tension. We had rain and we had news 24/7.
In this house.
Yes, 24/7. Now, finally, the day the storm's coming. Actually, I was at work until 6 o'clock. Got home. There go this woman cooking for the hurricane.
Listen.
We kind of ate bad, but good.
Late.
She made some fried beef and some fried chicken and
some fried
plantain
and mac and cheese.
You could hear the word. It's like fried.
Yeah.
Right. Some
Yes.
mac and cheese.
Yes.
So we had hurricane food.
And some good vodka. No, it wasn't vodka.
Jack Daniels.
Yes. Listen.
It's not common, typically when storms are coming, people are panicking, which we did our own panicking because she had me put up the shutters on.
I had you, or we had
on
to.
Monday, rather. Yes, on Monday I put up the shutters, put my car inside, crammed everything from my patio inside the garage. So we were ready. The only thing I was missing was the food, which she supplied.
I sure did.
And our in-laws joined us.
My parents showed up after so many times.
Asking.
And they showed up late.
Up until like 7 o'clock.
No, it was almost 9.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't think they were coming.
It was almost 9.
Now, she did prep for it. We bought an air mattress to make sure that we had
Just
some bliss
in
on
case.
the slip.
Right.
So, but it was good. I mean, thank God the hurricane didn't come our way.
At all.
It didn't, but we were ready. I mean, the cars had fuel in them. But the most blissful thing is that we got to spend some time with family. Now, on my side, my parents, they're in healthcare. So they were all at their job.
Yeah.
But it was good. I mean, we had fun.
We had a good time.
I ate bad, but we had fun.
We had a good time. We had a time that night, okay?
Yeah, but I do have to add this. While we were having fun and we're enjoying ourselves, there were people in the northern part of the state. And my heart goes out to those family. It was tough.
Right.
When we looked at the destruction that happened.
Yes, in Tampa.
It makes me wonder if this was me, if this was us here.
Right.
How do you deal with something like
Right.
this?
How do you recover?
So although we had our moments here, I don't want to disregard the fact that there are people suffering at this moment, and there are people that's lost everything that they own.
Yeah.
But she cooked. We enjoyed the time, and thank God, we didn't have to deal with the storm on our way.
Yes, we didn't have to, thank God. And I'm pretty sure a lot of prayers went up that particular Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because y'all, we were watching the news 24/7, just like a lot of you guys were too. For those of you who live in Florida, the TV was on 24/7, watching the news, make sure that
they're giving you a different spin on what's happening. Sometimes I think they scare us off.
Like the moment that I heard
that it increased to category 5.
Correct. And I was like, oh Lord, everybody kneel down. Let's go into prayer mode. But let me tell y'all something a little bit spiritual right now. God heard us. Because the fact that we were like so scared, so afraid, although we are not in that area that it really did all this damage, but from a category 5 to a 1, there's a God, okay? And it's so interesting that I was telling my husband, or I don't know who I was talking to, And I was like, God can just tell the storm to stop and the storm will stop, or throw the storm somewhere in the ocean. And it's exactly what happened.
God has control over everything.
There's a God.
All
the prayers went up to heaven, and then before you know it, the storm kind of like went down to a category 1 or 2. And Lord, it didn't do all that damage as people were predicting, right? And of course, the kids had a great time too, because they didn't go to school. I mean, our kids are homeschool, but my brother's kids are
I don't know why our kids could not continue with their lessons. I just don't know why.
They were complaining. Our cousin
The
had
internet
school.
was up. We had all the lessons
Well, this
planned.
stopped since Thursday.
I don't see why they could not continue
This
with
stopped
their
on
lessons.
Thursday. I mean, I kind of give them, listen.
Well, the hurricane is a distraction.
It is, which kind of like threw off all week. I feel like you and I wouldn't exercise this week at all.
Well,
last
couldn't.
week.
Everything was in the garage.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
And it was raining for 2 days, 3 days out of the week. It was raining. I couldn't even go outside for my run.
Yeah.
On Friday and Saturday, and this morning I don't have an excuse. But anyway, so that's our blissful moment, and obviously my heart goes out to all those people who are currently dealing with the destructions and all that damages to their properties, and hopefully no one lost their lives. But I know it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare. And if you've seen the news, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. So now let's get into the topic of the day. Today's topic is going to be spicy.
Listen, today's one's spicy.
We're diving into something that I know many of you may be wondering. And it's that question that, is it love or is it just a vibe? How do you know if what you're feeling is deep and will it last? Or is it just something,
we just
temporary?
vibing.
Is it just that temporary chemistry that you feel? Is it just that?
Yeah.
How do you know?
So listen, let's start with what is a vibe really, right? And we hear this all the time, especially y'all know we talk about social media here a lot on this platform, but that's where everything has been lately.
Yeah.
Right. On the socials, right? Where we probably hear the people are saying where we're just vibing or I'm feeling their vibe or I'm feeling his vibe. And we're just like vibing. But what does it mean though for people?
I think it means different things to different people. But for my little mind, I think it's that instant connection you feel, that initial attraction.
Correct.
You meet someone and there's that spark.
Yes.
There's that feeling.
Yes.
As you would call it, there's that butterfly.
Yes.
But not necessarily something deeply emotional.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like, hey, this person is fun.
Yeah.
They're cool to be around.
Right.
But vibes can be temporary.
Hey,
You can vibe with a lot of people, but still not have a real connection with any of them.
Yes, that is so true. With nowadays, with dating apps, the TikTok world. Tender. I feel like everything feels so quick, fast, and I guess you could say exciting.
Well, yeah, it's exciting.
Right? Very exciting.
Yeah. And listen, speed brings excitement.
And I truly know that, it does. Mm-hmm. But I truly feel like nowadays people are more so chasing vibes, right?
Well, yes. I mean, it's short. Remember, a lot of us can't deal with things that takes a long time. We want to get it. We want to get it now.
Yes.
And I think that's where people are confusing, what's real and what's not.
Right.
Something may feel good in the moment.
Yeah.
But remember, love takes time.
It takes time.
It takes time to build it. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
Now, hey, listen, I'm all for vibing. I can't vibe anymore because I'm married. Well, we still vibe, but in a different way.
Yeah, in a different way.
Our vibe is the lasting vibe because we're committed, right? And yes, we do have moments where we're really vibing.
Correct.
I'm talking moments where they make me do things that are illegal.
Oh my God. Listen, baby.
Here's what I mean illegal. If your parents are around, there are certain behaviors that I cannot exhibit.
Of course.
Not law illegal. I'm talking about parents illegal.
I feel like, You know,
Like that Wednesday, no, that Thursday,
When
that
your
Wednesday leading
parents
into
are
Thursday when your
around.
parents were here, there's
Correct.
certain things I could not do.
absolutely.
But for some reason, after eating that food, I was feeling
You have wanted to
I was
vibe,
feeling
huh?
a certain way.
You wanted to vibe.
Yeah.
But no. You're so bad, babe.
And listen, let's be real. Society pushes that vibe culture. Everything you look, it's instant gratification.
Microwave.
Whether it's scrolling TikTok or swiping on Tinder, people catch a vibe in a minute.
Yes.
I'm talking about it happens right now. But love, woo, that takes time. I've been building this thing for 14 years, and I'm still not quite a master at it.
What's
I'm
the
still
thing?
getting coached every day. Yes.
Well, I think because people change. The person that you knew me 10 years ago, I think every season we change. I'm not
yeah.
the person that I was,
I
you
agree.
know, in my 20s.
That's the thing with love. You committed to go through all these changes,
Yes,
and you
all
committed
these
to
phases.
that lifelong learning.
Correct.
See, if we were vibing, if we had a vibe,
Well, yeah.
I wouldn't be taking all that lessons on learning different things. I would have been gone by now.
Absolutely. You would have been gone by now. Because I don't think I would be like, we wouldn't be vibing. Let's just say that.
No, we vibe for a little bit.
Yeah, but we wouldn't be vibing for long.
Oh no, there's no such thing as long-term vibing unless if you started vibing after you got married. Like you and I, we vibe. I get this little moment here and then it goes down, but I can't go anywhere.
You tie down.
I'm tied down.
That's right.
Between love and vibe, there's a huge difference. And I know we've talked about some of it already. Vibe is short, love is long.
Simple as that. That's as simple it gets.
Sometimes you could be vibing, but because you're in the middle of it, you
Right.
don't realize that you're just vibing.
Sure.
You
Sure.
think that is love because, to be honest with you, sometimes they feel the same.
They feel the same.
When you're in the middle of it, those feelings, they overlap. But here's the thing. A vibe is like a mood. It's temporary. Love is a commitment. It sticks around.
Right.
With a vibe, it's usually based on how someone make you feel in that moment. It's fun. It's light. It doesn't require much from you because
Right.
you're in the moment. Love, on the other hand, it pushes you to grow. And it makes you give. Sometimes you give all of you to make it work. Yes, that's love. So sometimes vibe may sound more attractive. It's less work.
Well, that's why it doesn't last forever. Right? Love, I understand that love doesn't always feel exciting.
Yeah.
Right? One thing I know for sure is that it's strong.
Well, it is
Love
strong.
is strong and steady.
Yeah, it's strong. And obviously, you what you'll find is that when you spend time building something, you built it,
Yeah.
and it's weathered the good time, the bad time. You
Yes.
know how to deal with the uncertainty. You know how to
Right.
deal with the craziness.
Right. You're
Which
there
means-
for each other too.
Well, yes.
Yes.
And this is what
No
what
matter
makes
what.
the biggest difference between vibe, because vibe, you just wanna get what you want and be
Right.
gone.
Right. Right.
You wouldn't know how to deal with headaches because you never stick around long enough to deal with the headaches. Love, you kind of have no choice.
Yeah. Yes.
Because if you love this person, you can't see yourself ever moving away from them.
Right.
Like Cece sometimes do stuff to me that if we were vibing, I would have been gone.
What do I do to you, babe? I help you grow. That's for a fact.
Women never do anything wrong. Right?
Listen, we here for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, we had our vibing moment
Yes.
that led into this moment here.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, if you were just like in your vibing moment, we wouldn't be here today.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The
You
kids
would've
wouldn't
been like,
be here.
yeah,
I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be sitting here having this podcast.
Correct. So vibing, if you like in your, I truly feel like if you in your early age, like your teenage years or in your 20s, and you vibing because you're still learning that person.
Well, at that point,
If you're in college, you're vibing. But now
not
when you reach
necessarily.
to a certain level,
It depends on the maturity and what the person's looking for. But yes, most college students are just vibing.
they're just vibing.
Yes.
Now, if you reach at a certain level, you feel like, man, okay, I've been vibing for too long. Now I'm ready for a committed relationship. And that's the next step.
And that's usually how it goes. You kind of vibe to learn certain things, learn different
Correct.
people, learn
Yes.
different personalities.
Yes.
Hopefully you don't get into any trouble that kind of ties you down.
True.
But there's nothing wrong with vibing, but vibing responsibly. Right? Don't hurt people in the process.
Responsibly is the word. And don't be
Yes.
doing things that make, like you say, tie you down.
Yes. Another difference is when it comes to between love and vibing is how you handle challenges, how you handle tough
That's
things.
it. Yes.
When it's just a vibe,
Yes.
it's easy to walk away when things gets tough, but love makes you stay to work things out. You're invested in each other.
Yes.
You're willing to grow with each other. You're
Right.
willing to make sure that you do anything for this person that you're with
Yeah.
to be happy.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter if it's hard or not. You're willing to do whatever
Right.
you can.
Right.
That's love. So challenges, when you're in love, you handle it a lot easier. When you're vibing, you just be gone.
Yeah, and I think that's why so many relationships, struggle nowadays.
They're
right?
based on vibe.
Because especially if we talk about the socials, they just based on vibes, good times, pretty much.
You know how many people gets divorced because they feel like, you know what, my life is too boring. My partner is not taking me out as often as they
Right.
used to.
Right.
When if they were willing to sit down and say, okay, this is what we are in the relationship.
Yeah.
How do we do things
Yeah.
to help each other as opposed to, okay,
Yeah.
you're not doing what you were doing. I'm done.
And
Or
it's true.
yeah, and this is where you have to look at relationship goes like this. There are some moments you're up here,
Yeah.
and there's some moments you're down here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the down here could be emotional, it could be financial, it could be psychological. But you have to be in a state where you can be there for each other and you can support each other, you can lift each other up. Or if we're down together. We're gonna work at it while we're down there to make it work. Now, love requires patience. And this is where when you're going through some tough moments, your partner has to be patient with you.
I mean, it's clearly Apostle Paul said, love is patience, love is kind.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's from the Bible.
If it's just a vibe, you're not really committed to growing with that person. But love asks you to allow yourself to be vulnerable.
For instance, I could be thinking that as the girl, all right, this is my man, we're gonna go to the next level.
Yeah.
Right? But you over here thinking that
I'm just in it for the thrill.
because you never told me that. What are we? Are we in this for a vibe moment, or are we in this for a long period of time? Because there's people who are out there vibing, thinking that, oh, this is my partner forever. But the partner over here is thinking, we're just having a good time.
And it's important to have this conversation as to where you want to get to in that relationship.
Right.
But love allows you, say for instance, if you in it, you want something long term.
Yeah.
You gotta allow yourself to be vulnerable to express that.
That's right.
I want something long term.
Yes.
And at that point, if that person come out and says, I don't want something long term, I just want a vibe, you gotta allow yourself to be in a position, you know what? This is not quite it. It may have felt good, but if it's not in line with what you want, by all means, you need to be able to. But what you find out once that person, if you both are really in it for the love piece of it for long term, that person will show up for you whenever you need them. It doesn't matter if it's hard or if it's easy or if it's fun or if it's sad, they'll be there for you.
Absolutely, because sometimes I don't want to be wasting my time. Listen, especially if I'm in my 30s and I'm thinking that, okay, we are in this together. We together. This is why I truly feel like, ladies, if you're with someone and you're in your late 20s, early 30s, I don't want to waste your time and waste my time. Where do you see each other? Where are we in 5 years from now?
Yeah, but that's
because I need to know, what are we? Where are we going 5 years from now? Because I don't want to still be your girlfriend in 3 years, 2 years. Right? I would say at least 3 years.
If someone's committed to you for 3 years being their girl, they most likely will get to somewhere. They just haven't.
But you gotta know, right? Nowadays, people just want to vibing. And I need to know, because there's plenty of fish in the water, but I need to know, are we in this? It's good when you forward, right? You let the person know, hey, I know we're dating. I know we're together. I know we're vibing. We having a good time. At the same time, we got to have a serious talk. Are we just dating, or I need to know, because I like you. I want you to be my person that I spend my life with, the rest of my life with, versus I don't want to keep vibing with you all the time. because I don't know if this is going to last forever. Right?
Yeah.
And then before you know it, 3 years, 4 years into this, and then you don't, hey, we got to put a ring on it after 3 years. I'm just saying.
Women, the clock is ticking when that time comes.
It's not a matter of clock. It's just a matter of you are mine. You are mine. I want to make sure that I feel secure around you, as this is my future husband.
They want to possess you.
All right, guys. So let's talk about some signs that, what you're feeling is more than just a vibe. And I truly feel like one of the biggest signs is when you really, really care about the other person's happiness. I care so much about this man's happiness that sometimes I'm like, man, I put him before me. I care about his belly before my belly. I'm talking about his happiness matters to me.
She's shown it. I can't dispute that. Yes, she does all she could to make sure that I'm happy. Even when it doesn't feel like happiness in the moment, down the road, whatever she's doing now, even if it feels uncomfortable, it always leads to happiness. So yes, she's proven that she cares about my happiness.
I do.
Even though she may make me feel unhappy at the moment.
Listen, it may get on your feelings. Because I know you sometimes, babe. I know you be getting your feelings, We
all have feelings. That's why God gave us feelings, for us to get in them. Another sign is that you're willing to make sacrifices.
Yes, absolutely.
Love is selfless.
Absolutely.
It's not about keeping scores. It's not about doing things only when it benefits you.
Right.
Right. When you love someone, you go out of your way to make their life easier. Even if it means you're going to inconvenience yourself, you'll do all that you can to make sure that you give or you provide to this person things that benefits them.
Right.
And love makes you patient. You're not rushing through things. You're building something that lasts. So take your time and build it. Find ways to make sure that you really understand this person's needs. So down the road, you'll have something that lasts, and you'll be able to deal with all challenges that come your way. When you're building something that lasts, it requires you to do that.
Sure.
Now, with a vibe, everything moves fast. With love, it seems like everything moves slow. So they are the opposite of each other.
Yeah.
But take your time. Because when you take your time, it allows you to see the bigger picture, and it allows you to build that relationship that you are working so hard on.
Yes.
So be patient.
Yes. It's funny when you said with love, it's kind of like, we're moving in slow motion, right?
Yeah.
Because when you think about slow motion, you get to learn the person slowly as you go. Yes. So, and I truly feel like too, just to want to add to what you just said, that love makes you feel secure. If you are worried about where you stand, whether if they're going to leave or not, that's probably a vibe. If you worry about that, if I'm with so-and-so, if I'm constantly thinking about they're going to leave me, they're not going to stay with me, they don't love me, they don't like me. That's definitely me doubting myself that this is not something that's going to last for a while.
Yes. Insecurities.
Correct. Insecurities, absolutely. And I truly feel like when it comes to love gives you that stability.
Well, yes,
right?
it makes you feel secure.
Foundation. It makes you feel like, man, I can count on this man here. He can count on me. We can count on each other, versus where I'm doubting myself, asking myself this question, whether or not if we're going to stay together in the long run.
The moment that you start questioning yourself, you have issues.
I don't think it's issues. I think you need to have this talk with your partner. If you start doubting yourself, you need to have a sit down with your partner and say, hey, listen, I was just thinking.
Not you physically, that relationship you have.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say.
And it needs to be addressed.
Yeah, you got to listen. I don't want to keep thinking about something is going on and next thing you know, nothing is going on. We're just vibing. We need to sit down and talk.
If you start questioning yourself, you have issues.
All right.
Now, with social media and dating apps and everything moves fast. It seems like we've been talking about fast and
popcorn.
fast. It's easy to fall into the trap of chasing vibes.
Yeah.
And I think many people these days are like chasing that rush, that thrill. And they get it, they're excited. They spend a few days in it, maybe a few months in it, and then I'm done. But how do you keep yourself grounded? How do you make sure you're pursuing something real, something concrete, something that you can build a life on?
True. I think the first thing is you got to be real with yourself. You got to be real with yourself. You know, you got to ask yourself this question. Am I looking for just a good time, for just a vibe? Or am I looking for a really strong, good, spiritual, God-given relationship that takes time?
Or are you willing to do the work to build that relationship? Because believe me, that relationship will not just fall on your lap.
Right.
It won't. You got to find the right person. You got to be willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
Put in the effort. Remember, love requires a lot from you.
Yes.
Some people forget that. Some people just don't know that.
I think they just don't want to hear it.
Listen, when it comes to making things work in relationship, not just marital or loving relationship, even at work, people sometimes don't realize that you have to put in.
I think business. I think it's everything in general.
So be willing to work on that relationship that you want to build.
Yes. And get to know the person that you are dating on a deeper level versus we just vibing. I think vibing is great, but you need to ask yourself these, questions. What are
you looking for?
What are you looking for?
Yeah.
And I know one thing you always said is don't settle for.
No, don't settle for a vibe. If you're looking for love and someone's coming and you're getting that sensation they just want to vibe with you, no. So, but you got to pay attention to certain things.
Right.
That initial attraction, that's usually what starts things. But once you in it, you got to pay attention to how is this person treating me?
Right.
Especially when things are a little hard. If it's real love, that person is going to stick around.
Absolutely.
If it's a vibe, you will not find that person anywhere when you need them. So pay attention to how they're treating you. Now, you also got to look to see, is the initial excitement still there? And if it's still there, the person is there, but pay attention to when it's wearing off. As that excitement wear off, is that person becoming less present? If that's the case, they were just looking for that thrill.
Right.
Now, if it's someone that you really see yourself having a future, it's okay to still have a conversation with them. Because sometimes people can be in that state where they're just enjoying the vibe, but never look beyond to see, is there something else that they can cultivate from that?
Right.
And if you really see some value in this person, I think that's where that conversation piece comes in.
Yeah.
But if that person wants nothing to do with that, yes, they just wanted to vibe. And this is when you need to take a step back and say, you know what? I need to keep looking.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong for you to keep looking.
I say, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to have those conversations. And you can have them as early as you want.
Right.
I think you should have them real early.
Yeah.
Before you put so much time in that relationship.
So much vibes.
Have that conversation early. Just to make sure you know where you stand. Get to know that person on a deeper level.
True.
And see if they are open to let you in. If someone's really guarded and you've done all that you could, but you can't go beyond that initial, then you probably want to step aside and say, maybe this person's just vibing. Maybe that's not me.
Yeah.
So sometimes those conversations may feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Sometimes they may even seem unnecessary, but have them.
Yeah.
Because if you have them, it'll put you in a position to really see where you are with this person. And if that person really in it for the real thing, you'll get to find out and they'll stick around.
Yeah.
So have those conversations.
And I think being honest with yourself is major, right?
Yeah.
That's something to me. I feel like, we have to be honest with ourselves. Sometimes we can convince ourselves that, a vibe is love. Right? But deep down you think that it's love because you want it.
Well, when you want something, you can convince yourself that it is it.
You can convince yourself that, okay, this is love. But deep down inside, this is just a vibe.
They say that little voice in your head sometimes that's telling you something, but you're choosing to ignore it. It pays to listen to that little voice. Sometimes it's a voice of reason.
Listen, ladies, I've been there, and I know a lot of you ladies have been there too, where you know that you got to be honest with yourself. This person that you with is just a vibe, and there's nothing going on, but you kind of like, you forcing yourself to think there's something more, there's something more there, right? Well, you know deep down inside, this is just not it. But you just go along with it.
Maybe you could be enjoying the vibe so much that you forget that you were in it for love. And this is where it's very important to be honest. Correct. Know what your objectives are. Know what your goal is in terms of going in this relationship.
Yes.
And make sure that you stay true to it.
Yes. And if this is not your guy, it's just, yes,
or if this
harsh.
Is not your girl.
Yes, it is harsh to say, hey, listen, I'm not feeling our vibe. I'm not feeling you or whatever. But there has to be a way for you to feel comfortable saying to this person, hey, listen, I'd rather have us be friends than me wasting my time. Because if you know that you are looking for something for a long term, it's going to be hard for you to just vibing with someone that just want to vibe for a short moment.
Yeah.
Be honest with yourself, for sure.
So what I'd say to this is ask yourself that question. Are you chasing that vibe? Are you chasing that rush?
Yeah.
Or are you ready to experience real love? And the answer to that question will put you in a position to know how much it's going to be requiring from you. There's nothing wrong with a vibe though.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what we need in the moment.
Right.
And if that's what you need, enjoy it. Enjoy every bit of it.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for love, you got to remember that love requires patience. It has to be intentional, which means everything you do, you have to do it with the intentions of creating or building a relationship where love is in the center of it.
Yeah.
Remember, it's going to take work.
Absolutely.
It's going to take a lot of work.
Yes.
And it shouldn't be based on how that person makes you feel just in that moment. It should be based on how they make you feel overall.
Right.
In the good time and in the tough time as well.
Sure.
So love is about building something that lasts.
Forever.
It should last forever, but since we don't last forever, eventually that love will die with us.
Okay.
And remember with love, the initial excitement can be gone, long gone, but that love remains. And that's where the time and the effort it takes, the willingness it takes for you to grow together comes into play, because it allows you to have something that goes beyond that initial attraction, that initial thrill. Don't let yourself get caught up in that vibing thing.
Vibing thing.
Again, if that's what you want, by all means, enjoy the vibe. But if you want that love, take the time. But if you want that love, take the time to nurture that love.
Yes.
To learn all that you can about this person so you can really build something that will last.
Right.
And that's what I wish for all of you guys. Sissy and I, we've had our moments. Our moments of building. It did start with a vibe, but we quickly moved from that to the next phase. It started with
a church vibe, more like.
Yes, we vibe.
Listen, it started with a church vibe, okay? A church vibe.
I don't know if there's a difference between the two, but that initial attraction has to be there. And this is how our love started.
Yes.
Something attracted us to each other, and then we built up from there. So that's me saying that if you're in a moment of vibing, that doesn't mean it's wrong.
Right.
It just means that you may not have had a chance to build it into something different. And if that's your goal, you and your partner is to get together, see what do we do to move from that state to this. And believe me, you'll probably be like Cece and I one day.
Absolutely.
That doesn't mean it's all nice and all pleasant and all joyful.
It's not all butterflies.
We have our moments.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Blissology Podcast. Listen, we hope our conversation gave you guys some clarity about love and vibes and how to navigate both into this world. Right, babe?
Absolutely. And if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe and share this with a friend. Maybe you know someone who's been vibing, or maybe they need to hear this. So remember to comment and come back next week for more. Peace.
Bye.